I shall wear a crown, I shall wear a crown, when it's all over. When it's all over.
Well, it's kind of hard to consolidate 34 years of marriage into one little distillate, but I'm sure going to try. Marguerite, my little baby, my little cutie, was born May the 26th, 1948 in Wilmington, Delaware. She traveled a lot because her mother and her father were military people. So she spent time in Germany, a little bit in the Philippines, before coming back into New York proper, and she went to school there. Her upbringing was a little tough because moving around so much, she couldn't find a way to kind of get herself settled, but it wasn't until she came to Dallas that she started to gain her voice. And that came from after she graduated from high school. She started in New York, but she finished and graduated here in Dallas, in the Dallas area. So after that, she found a job in New York for the music building. I thought that was pretty noteworthy because in the music building, which was a place for up-and-coming artists, she met Madonna, and they established a little bit of a relationship, so she knew Madonna. And I thought it was funny because when she moved from there and came to Dallas, Irving area to find a job, she found it with Four Seasons Resort and Hotel and Spa. And it just so happened in that time frame, Madonna, who was riding the crest of popularity, came to Dallas for a concert. Well, she stayed in Four Seasons, and Marguerite, who was working there at the time, found out that she was working there, and she said, you know what, I want to go visit her. So she went to management and said, listen, Madonna's here, and I'd like to go visit her. Well, the manager said, no, you don't know her. She said, yes, I do. Look at the resume. What's wrong with you? So she said, call him. And call her. So they called her. Madonna said, bring her up. So Marguerite went up there and talked with her and everything. And before she went upstairs, she looked back at him. I told you that I knew her. That's just typical Marguerite. You can't tell her she's wrong, and boy, believe me, if you're wrong, she's gonna let you know about it. So she went and talked to Madonna, and they had a little good visit, and Madonna did something unusual. Madonna said, hey, and she called her mama. Hey mama, why don't you go on tour with me? Marguerite said, no, you too wild. And I said, deep down as she was telling me the story, I said, well, thank God she didn't go. So she ended up, Madonna left, and she stayed the Four Seasons for a few more years. Then she found her calling as a security guard because that was what she liked to do at DFW Airport. So we were going there at the DFW Airport, and she would, do her job, and she retired there. Well, I didn't know her then. But I did get to know her. So we found ourselves meeting each other at Irving Mall. And this was in late summer, and it was late summer and just before September. And I was sitting in the food court because of the movie that I was getting ready to go see had already been showing, and another one didn't show until about 8 o'clock. So I sat in the food court just to make sure that I wasn't going to miss the movie. So while I was reading the Time magazine, I'll never forget it, all of a sudden, a young lady, this was all a blur at this time, a young lady walked past me and said, "Hi, how are you?" And then she said, "Wait a moment." So I stopped. I said, that was kind of strange. So right beside the food court, there was an escalator. And on the escalator, she rode up the escalator, went to the card shop, and came back down. When she came back down, she had a card, scribbled a little message on there, and dropped it in front of me. And I, by this time, hadn't really paid any attention. So when she dropped the card back down, it said, "Hi, I think I've seen you around. Maybe one of these times we could have lunch." Well, the way she did it and the sheer audaciousness that she did it made me smile. Once I smiled, she came over and introduced herself and said, "Hi, I'm Marguerite." And from there began a whirlwind romance. But before that, you had to have a little bit of difficulty. We talked for a long, long time at the mall. And I didn't go to the movie, needless to say. And just as the movie was getting ready to close, food court was getting ready to close, she said, "Well, I guess I better take the bus and get ready to go." And I said, "Well, the buses aren't going to be running now." And somewhere along the line, I got the unction or the courage or whatever you want to call it. I said, "If you don't mind riding in my car, I'll take you home." Now, the year was 1989. I was driving a 1968 Buick Skylark, AKA Hoopty City. It had a rusted bottom on the driver's side where you could actually see the ground as you were going past. I thought one of these times I might do the Flintstone act and just, put my feet out there and do the... So I took her home, and once again, courage came over me, and she said, "Well, thank you for giving me a ride." And I said, "Okay." I stuttered the last words out. Well, it took me 5 minutes to ask that woman to go to dinner with me. She said yes. Okay, now there's two things about this, and I'll tell you the second one when we went to dinner. We went to dinner at, the guy was Papa something or other. It was a spaghetti place. Well, we ordered spaghetti, and we sat there, and she started picking at her food. I said, "Oh my gosh, I ordered something that she did not want." And I looked at her and I said, "Listen, is everything all right? Is there some?" "No, I just, nah." Well, what I didn't know then, but I know now, when a girl really, really likes you, she has no appetite. I didn't know that. I did not know that. I know that now. But I said, "Okay, well, you don't have to eat that. We'll just get something and, I'll take you home. And maybe I can have a second date." Well, I did get a second date. And I took her somewhere where she liked. She was a lot better that time around. And then the romance commenced. And we talked over the phone a long time. And I thought that maybe my electric personality would keep her up. But in the middle of us, one night we were talking, and all of a sudden I heard this snoring, and I said, "Oh my God, I am one electric. I must really be electric." So I said, "Are you okay?" Yes, you keep on talking, keep on talking. I said, "No, not if you're sleepy." She said, No, I just want to hear." I said, "Now I know. My voice is so soothing, she just fell right to sleep." That's what it had to be. I had to use some kind of rationalization to let me know that me speaking to her just didn't bore her to death. Well, over the few months that we had, it blossomed into something more. And the beautiful thing is, everything that happened with me in her case caught me by surprise. We were driving down Irving Streets. I forgot where we were going to or where we were coming from. And she said something relating to relationships. And she said, "Well, I've been there for so long, and and I said, my mind was saying, okay, well, this is not it. This is not the right time, because I said to myself, I set a goal at this, I'll get married, but not until that time. Well, I was wrong. Because all of a sudden, something prodded me. I could almost feel the elbow in my ribs saying, "Ask her now," and say, Oh, well, maybe you don't have to worry about that. And as soon as I said that, her little face lit up. She turned around to me and she said, what are you trying to ask me? Maybe we ought to go ahead and get married. And I said, oh, you done it now. You got to go. So I said, I'm going to do it the right way. I said, I'm going to buy her a ring, and then I'm going to go to her parents' house and ask for her hand in marriage. Well, I went there. I did the kneeling of the knee. I did that whole thing. And then I went to her parents' house and asked her father and her mother for her hand in marriage. They looked at me like, what is wrong with him? I said, well, I'm trying to do this the right way. So anyway, they gave their consent. Her mother got called away on the day that we got married. She got called away on an assignment. And she said, okay, well, we'll still have to marry. We've got to have it because we already got everything booked. So we got married at Mount Olive Baptist Church in Arlington, Texas, at 11:30 in the morning, right after the morning worship service. N.L. Robinson performed the ceremonies. I'll remember it just as clear as day. He performed the ceremonies, and one of the ministers, associate ministers who was attending, said, now let me see you have this last for 3 months. Well, on our 20th anniversary, we thought about maybe we need to go back by there at Mount Olive and see if we can seek that guy out and tell him, hey, I think we made it more than 3 months. But that was the way we were as a married couple. Plus, Marguerite had some beautiful quirks that belied her compassion for both animals and people. One of the things that I remember when we were going and her mother was getting ready to go on to the downside of transitioning, we were going up there to her house, and Marguerite said, stop the car, stop the car. I stopped the car. Now, remember, I'm driving hoopties. I didn't know if I was going to be able to get that car going again. She said, stop the car, stop the car. I stopped the car. I said, what is it? What is it? I was looking at all the gauges, and I said, well, maybe, something. Well, she said, no, there's a turtle in the road. What? There's a turtle in the road. You need to go get it. What? So I had to go out, Tim. Now, there wasn't that much traffic, thank God, and pick up a turtle, bring it back to the car, and I asked her, okay, sweetheart, what do you want me to do with it? She looked at me as earnestly as she could possibly be. I don't know. What? You wanted me to go out there? So we had to bring a turtle home, and we had to keep it for a little while. But that's not the end of it, though. That's not the end of it. I remember one time in the summertime, my wife, now when we had a little apartment, we had probably maybe a 2x2 yard. I mean, you could use a weed whacker and knock it out in about 5 minutes. And I told her, okay, sweetheart, I'm going to go out here and do the yard. She said, wait a minute. She brought out, Tim, a hat, banana plantation hat, a mask, flannel shirt, this is summer now, pants, and a mask. It took me longer to put that on than it took for me to cut the yard. And not only that, when I went out there were children on the back fence that were laughing at me. So I said, well, sweetheart, I came back in after now it took me 15 minutes to put this on. But it took me 2 minutes to cut the yard. So I looked at her and I said, sweetheart, you know I love you. I love you with all my heart, but please don't make me do that again. Please don't do it. And she had a mischievous streak, Tim, a mischievous streak. I remember one time she asked me to go get groceries. And I said, okay, sure, no problem. She said, oh, baby, you just so good. But she wore lipstick. And I didn't know that. She had a lipstick on her lips. And I said, well, I wonder if she's planning on going somewhere. Well, no, she's not. We're not going anywhere. And she gave me a kiss on the cheek. Well, I didn't pay any attention to it. I just went to the store, did what I was supposed to do, and come back. Well, I was walking up there to the counter so that I could pay the stuff. Lady just smiled at me so big. I said, oh my gosh, have I got something in my teeth? Is there something wrong with my hair? Do I have my shirt unbuttoned the wrong way? Is there something wrong? And she said, I said, ma'am, is there something wrong with me? She said, no. And then she pulled out the mirror, and Marguerite had a big old mark right there. I called her, and I said, sweetheart? She said, yes. I said, you sent me to the store, right, to get the stuff, and I got the stuff. That's good. I said, you know what you did, don't you? Well, what are you talking about? So I immediately went into what she enjoys me doing, and that's mock outrage. I said, you know what you did? You put some lipstick on me, and I don't understand why you did that. She said, you'll be all right. She tried to calm me out of it. That's what she tried to do. She tried to calm me out of it. I said, I'm not going to be calm. She said, shh, you know your blood pressure's going to go up. That's what she enjoyed mischief. Another thing that she loved, because I used to give her stuffed animals over the years, she would cherish them, but she would also use them as an offensive weapon. I called it ninja bombing. What it was if I took a nap or go to sleep, there was a corner of the house that she could peer around and she would see if I was asleep. If I was asleep or napping, that was the signal. She'd take out 2 or 3 of her friends and she would place them on my chest and wait until I wake up. So, the first couple of times it caught me by surprise, and I started to develop insomnia at that time. And then she started getting to where she got sophisticated. You know those Swiffer WetJet type of dusters with the extenders? She would put one of those little friends on there that would fit, and we have 2 easy chairs. She would be in the other one, and I'd be in one, and she would stretch it over, and she would have it there so that if I woke up, I would stare it right in the face. This is what I went through with little Marguerite. And it was it was a lot of fun because she liked for me to get the mock outrage. But one of the things that really I enjoyed about her was that little devilish smile that she got whenever you could tell that she was getting ready to do something. And the delight that she had whenever she was getting ready to do it. One day I was getting ready to go to work, and I had a little lunch bag. And I was in the bathroom getting dressed, and all of a sudden I heard Marguerite start laughing. It was almost like, you know how those mad scientists laugh in the movies? Cackling. Well, I said, what in the world is going on? So I walked out there and I said, sweetheart, what did you do? Nothing. I said, well, I guess I'll get ready to go and pick up my lunch bag and get ready to go. Do you think I need to check in it? No, don't check. Well, that was the wrong move. Because once I got to work and opened it up, one of her friends was there with a note saying, please return me. Yes, she had struck again. All through the years, it's been an enjoyable adventure with Marguerite. I talk about all of the fun things about her, but she was really a caring and compassionate individual. She didn't meet a stranger. She just allowed her natural goodness and her natural beauty to shine through. She was a beautiful woman inside and out. So I thank God for her 34 years of marriage and just so many things that I could really go through. There's another one that just came to me. When we invited our family over for Thanksgiving dinner, and we were cooking, and she wasn't used to the oven that had a sensor. We were sitting down, we were laying in a pallet downstairs so she could watch the food. And probably the night before, she was sitting there and all of a sudden she shook me and she said, wake up, wake up. I said, well, what's wrong? There's something wrong with the oven. There's something wrong with it. I don't see the light. I said, sweetheart, it's a sensor. it'll come on and it'll keep the heat constant. Every time that it goes down, it'll come back up again. So those are the kind of moments that I'm going to miss, because I can just see it so clear. One more story, the Chicken Express story. I was at work, and my little baby called, and she said, "I'm hungry, Bear." And I said, "Okay, well, what would you like?" And she said, "I want to get some fish from the Flying Chicken." That is an oxymoron. I said, I was trying to think of what in the world was she talking about. What does that mean, the Flying Chicken? So I tried to say, well, is it Kentucky Fried? Nope. Was it Golden Chick? Nope. I said, what other one was it? And then finally I came to the point of, I said, she means Chicken Express. So me with my smugness, I said, you mean Chicken Express, that's what it's called. So she didn't say anything. Well, the next time that we went to that place, Chicken Express, and got ready to order, she was kind of looking around and she was checking everything out, and she looked up at the sign and she said, "What does that sign look like?" My head went down and I said, "It looks like a flying chicken." She said, "I rest my case." Once again, I got upbraided by Marguerite and her incredible sense of logic. She's been so good to me over the years. She tried to be my protector. Now, she wasn't as big as I was. I am a big guy. But she acted like she was my protector, because we were in the store shopping, and a lady was moving, pretty fast, and she hit me and she fell down. I mean, she just, and she didn't see me, I guess, but she hit me and bounced off and fell down. And she got up and took off. And Marguerite said, "What? That woman did what? She needed to come back." I said, "Sweetheart, it was more damage done to her than it was to me." So those are the kinds of things that she held on to. If she loved you, she loved you totally. And she would try her best to protect you. You heard about the card ministry. A lot of us have been affected by the card ministry, including me. But her real love was the children. She enjoyed seeing the light bulb come on in their little faces. She felt sad when they would move on, heartbroken when she didn't have any. But she said, "I'm going to sit here constantly and wait until somebody comes." Because somebody, when they come, she's always prepared. So those are the things that I'm going to take with me. And those are the things that's going to sustain me now that she's gone.